In 7.5, we're looking at some applications of radical equations, specifically in Part A, at proportions in similar triangles. A proportion is a statement of equality of two ratios. If the ratio of two related qualities is constant, we say the two are proportional. So we're going to be looking at ratios, which are fractions, for this case. And it's a statement of equality of two ratios. All right, in the first example, a person pays $297 for 6 months of cable service. How much will that person pay for 8 months of cable service? So we've got a fraction here where $297 is good for 6 months, and that's a ratio. We want to find out how many dollars, so we're going to put X for the number of dollars, they pay for 8 months. Months. This is a proportion now that I have an equation that says these two ratios are equal. Now, since it's a rational equation, we're going to multiply both sides by the common denominator. The common denominator being 24, since 6 and 8 both go into 24. So we're going to multiply both sides by 24. Okay. So, let's see. 6 goes into 24 4 times. So I have 4 times 297, which is 1,088. And 8 goes into 24 3 times, so I have 3x. Now to solve for x, we divide both sides by 3. That gives us 396 equals x. So 8 months costs $396 at the same rate. All right. One more example of proportions here. 1/2 cup of baked beans contains 430 milligrams of sodium. How many milligrams of sodium are there in 3/4 cup? Okay, so we've got a ratio here. These ratios are pairings, right? The 1/2 cup pairs with the 430 milligrams, and the 3/4 cup pairs with the how many, with the variable. And we'll make our two fractions. So 1/2 pairs with 430 milliliters equals 3/4 pairs with x. Okay. This time our common denominator, since we have 430 and x in the bottom, is 430x. We're going to multiply both sides by 430x. Here, 430's cancels, gives me just x. So I would have 1/2 x equals, on the other side, x's cancel, and I have 430 times 3/4. 430 times 3/4 is, I used my calculator and I typed that wrong the first time, but I got it. I think 430 times 3/4 is 322.5. Okay. To continue solving, we would divide by 1/2, which is the same thing as multiplying both sides by 2. So that gives us x equals 322.5 times 2, which is 645. So 3/4 cup has 645 milligrams of sodium. All right, so that was some proportions. The same idea is going to apply down here to our similar triangles. When two triangles have corresponding angles in equal measures, then the side lengths are proportional. So we're going to look for the two missing sides here. So I've got some pairs of sides, some similar sides right here. The B side is similar to the Y side. The C side is going to be similar to the Z side. And the A side is going to be similar to the X side. So I'm going to set this up twice because I need to find both A and Z. It's key that I have one ratio here. So I can say that I start with 7/14 if I look at little triangle to big triangle as the ratio. Let's look for our C's first. I'm sorry, we know C. Let's go for our Z, I can say first. So let's look at this side first. So in the short side, I started with 7. So in the short side, I start with 3. And then z, my unknown, has to go in the bottom there. Okay, so my common denominator that I multiply both sides is 14z. 14 cancels, that's 7 times z. Z cancels, that's 3 times 14, which is 42. There we go, 42. And then I can divide both sides by 7. For z equals 6. So now I know the value of z. Z is 6. I gotta keep pushing that up a little higher. All right. And now we're going to look for A, the purple side. Okay. So we start with the same ratio, 7 to 14. Small side was 7, so small side is A, over longer side is 12. Okay, 12 and 14 are in the denominator this time, so I need to look for a common denominator that has 12 and 14. Let's see, I know that 14 is 2 times 7. 2 goes into 12, but 7 doesn't. So if I find 12 times 7, I'm sure they both go into 84. So 84 divided by 14 and 84 divided by 12, it works, right? So 84 is the common denominator. So we're going to multiply both sides by 84. 84 on both sides. And I already know that 14 goes into 84 6 times, and 12 goes into 84 7 times. So I have 6 times 7 is 42, equals A times 7 is 7A. Divide by 7, divide by 7, I get 6 for A. Coincidence, I happened to get 6 for both of them. It just shows the way these guys were set up on accident, but that's cool. I have both sides. So our A value is 6. These pictures may not be to scale, but it doesn't look too far off that this side and this side could be the same length. So one of these is 3, 6, 7. The other one is 6, 12, 14.